Hello and welcome back to another Instagram Live and Artist Stories. I'm Tara Wahab, founder of Loud Art Society. Loud Art Society is a non-profit organization that enhances health through art and creativity. We've been operating in the city of Calgary since 2015, and throughout this time we have provided several different public art projects, programs, and events, for which we have received very positive feedback so far. Today we have another amazing artist that we will be introducing to you. Her name is Stephanie Damus. I hope that I pronounced her last name properly. But while she's going to join us and other viewers are going to join us, I'm just going to play a music by one of the artists that we interviewed in the past. His name is Yves Gravel, and this song is called Easy.
Troubled but pretty, makes me forget my ABC. It ain't easy, down on one knee. You've never seen all of me. She ain't gonna brawl, fight against this wall. She's gonna stay put and stand tall. It ain't close at all, trying to hoping no one has to crawl.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Awesome. So I'm not going to waste any more time, and I'm just going to start right ahead with my questions. Please go ahead, introduce yourself. Tell us where are you from, what is your background, and what kind of art is it that you're making?
Great. So my name is Stephanie Damus, and I'm from Calgary, born and raised. I have a Bachelor's of Fine Arts in Developmental Art, which is basically like pre-education or like community-based art experiences. You kind of do a little bit of both. I've always kind of just really been interested in art and felt like that's something that I was good at. So I pursued that into adulthood from when I was a child. And mostly I've been working mostly with watercolor. I started doing a little bit more of experimenting with gouache recently, which is like similar to watercolor, but I would put it somewhere between watercolor and acrylic paint. And so that's mainly what I'm working on. I do also really like ceramics. It's just a little bit difficult to get to a studio where you could do that. I can't have that in my home just yet.
Definitely. Yeah, no, it seems like painting or even like smaller works, it's easier to work on at home or having a home studio.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, ceramics or anything sculpture-wise, you need lots of space to work on.
Yeah, so if my painting's just a desk in the unfinished basement, so that's all I need.
Oh, we are all on the same page, I guess. So you said that you were interested in art since childhood. Like, what age was that you realized this is it? I think I'm gonna pursue this more professionally.
I don't know if there's like specifically an age. I just remember that like making art was something I was always kind of praised for and given that kind of positive reinforcement. So it just kind of felt natural to pursue that into, as a career. I think also I tend to be like a little bit more introverted. So it's like a nice quiet activity for me where I can just like, be alone and focus on something. So I think it's just naturally something that I've always kind of felt was what I wanted to do.
Yeah, most artists are like that, especially when it comes to, I think, visual artists. They find it that it's a more intimate work. Where musicians are more extroverted and actors probably even more extroverted.
Yeah, for sure.
So Stephanie, the focus of our organization is mainly on the health benefits that practicing any form of art and creativity can have on our health. Do you believe that your art practice had any effects on your health at all?
Oh, absolutely. For me, it's definitely like a way to kind of spend time on my own and kind of reset and kind of refocus my life. And it just generally plays like a good part in like the balance of your life and things that, can really be a positive for you. It can be very like meditative, and even just taking that time alone away from all the noise that happens in a day-to-day life really, I think, amplifies at least my mental health for sure. And then I always feel like a little accomplished, at the end of something. Like I'm busy all day, don't really know if you've done something, and then you can kind of focus on doing something for yourself that also has like this outcome and something tangible that you can look at. That also helps me, I think, in terms of mental health.
Very nice way of putting it. You mentioned that you did an art degree with developmental health, at least.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is in your art practice, do you right now, like, do you do any kind of art that is involving both of your knowledge in it?
No, not at the moment. So I had 2 babies in 14 months, so I'm unemployed at the moment. But which is great. I really love being home with them, and I'm very privileged to be able to do that, especially these days. Before that, I worked for a not-for-profit organization, and I taught art to adults with developmental disabilities. And one of my main roles was to teach employable skills through the arts and collaboration. So I feel like my degree really like worked hand in hand with my job at the time, and it was really fun. And I liked it.
Nice. Good to know that. So what is the theme of your artworks? Does it have any theme? And have you been counting your pieces at all or not?
So in terms of counting my pieces, I think since I started to kind of be a bit more serious about turning this into a career that might, hopefully bring me a little bit of money, I've maybe only made 4 things that are completed, but I've got lots of ideas and stuff for things to do. In terms of theme, not really a theme, mostly just like watercolor and gouache, if you want to call like the materials a theme. I do really like nature-based things and tend to get drawn to like animals and, things from under the sea, but I'm kind of open to all sorts of things. Like I just finished a Star Wars alphabet painting, which is not under the natural theme at all.
Sometimes I say it's really about the idea that you have, and I don't think all artists always follow the same, like theme or the series of thoughts. It really depends to where they go, how they get inspired, who they get inspired by, and then they just get into action and create it in whatever form that they want. But generally, it seems like, I don't know, for having an art business, that's what they told us in art school pretty much, that, you have to have a theme, but I don't think so. It's really about like just following that passion and seeing how it's going to unfold on its own and let it organically to just grow maybe.
Yeah, I think that's my perspective on it as well. I'm sure if I, continue to just create things and then look back, I might be able to pull out some themes, but I feel like that's maybe a more like organic way of working, and just how I assume most artists work is they just start making things and then they kind of pull out of what they've made different themes and things that they see are consistent throughout their work. But
Yeah.
I don't know if I like think about it specifically when I start, you know, to have like, oh, well, they'll have like, you know, Picasso's blue period and everything will be blue or whatever. Right? Oh, sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Just a little accident there. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, you're right. Just like some artists go through different periods of different series. So I think it's still good that you would follow you know, a stream of thought and just keep until there's no longer anything left. You feel like, okay, I'm done with this thing. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Move on to something else.
You've explored everything as far as you can explore it and experiment with it. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Here's my next question to you. Would you like to collaborate with other artists?
Yeah, definitely would be open to collaboration. I think a lot of really like wonderful art can come out of it just by pushing each other and getting these different perspectives in order to complete the same goal. I think it can be also like really healthy in terms of how you're working, and you know, taking you out of your comfort zone a little bit can be really healthy and push your personal work, as well as creating something with someone else like together is just.
That's true.
I'm very interested in it. Yeah.
Right. Have you done any collaborations in the past?
Not with my personal work. In my job, I worked with a lot of. I did a lot of collaborations, and we put on plays and wrote books of poetry together, and but not really in my personal work, no.
Okay. So, what is your perspective on art and creativity in general?
So that's like a very layered question for me. I feel like there's like different layers of art. You know, there's something in making art for yourself. There's something interesting that can really be gained. And then it can just like help you, creating art can help you explore like different aspects of yourself that maybe you didn't, that you didn't know about, or that you have a hard time exploring without it. It's a good like vessel for self-exploration. I think also like viewing art or participating on that side of the art world and being the audience can also help you gain perspective in terms of how other people see the world, and maybe like enlighten you. And in terms of creativity, I think there's space for creativity in it everywhere, right? Like in any kind of problem solving or any part of life. I think creativity plays a role, and often we don't realize that we're being creative when we are being creative, because we're not, you know, specifically making art. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense.
I'm just making some notes from your quotes pretty much.
Sure.
Yeah, the other day, one of the artists that we were introducing, she said that I think every decision is a creative decision.
Yeah.
And I agreed. I'm like, yeah, that's true. You know, yeah, and as you mentioned too, that it's in all parts of our life, and people don't notice it. They think that creativity has to be very particular to artists only, but it's in reality everybody's using it. It's just that they don't realize it, and they think it has to be so particular, significant.
Yeah, I agree. I think the art world kind of like took that word and made it its own, but in reality, I think people are creative all of the time, right? Like, yeah, and then I think life throws you something and you have to make a decision, and that's exactly it. Like that decision is creative because you had to think outside of the norm, or yeah, I agree with that. Other artists as well.
Are you working on anything right now at the moment? I know you mentioned that you're dealing with two little ones at home, but does that even leave any room for you to work on your art?
I do actually. I have a really supportive husband. So he works, and then on the weekend, I get some time to kind of come downstairs and have a day to create things and be creative and work on my business, as well as any time that I'm left with any spare energy after bedtime. I can use that time as well. So I just this morning finished my Star Wars ABC, so it's on the back burner, and I'll start something new soon. But I just have to decide what.
Do you have that around? Can we see it? Or?
Yeah, one moment, I'll grab it. So it's relatively big, so I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but I'll try to bring it closer here. So
Yeah,
that's Darth Vader, you know, and Chewbacca, and Boba Fett. Yeah. So still on the board. What I'll do now is I'll give it a few days and take a look at it again and see if I need to add any details or change anything before I call it done.
Awesome. Is that for a particular project? It's a commission that you're working on?
No, this one is just for fun, and then I think in a few weeks I'll collect all the works that I've made and start making prints and hopefully put them up on Etsy, and maybe somebody will buy them.
Nice. Yeah, it's actually a very nice idea. I feel like, you know, like preschool places, they could use that kind of thing. It's very fun, and children can connect with it very well.
Yeah, so I started doing the ABCs because I made one for my eldest son, and then I wanted to make one for my younger son, and then now I just have all the ideas for alphabets. So following that, which I guess is maybe a theme in my work currently, is alphabets.
You sent me some of your other works as well, and I was looking at them on your Instagram page as well. That's the theme that I see pretty much. I feel like it does have that kind of a feel of like it could be used a lot in children's book, you know, like places like that where your work is very colorful and it's very joyful, and there is that educational aspect to it too. And I think that's somewhere that maybe you can, you know, focus a little bit more on.
Yeah, definitely. I'm also very interested in children's books, and I think I sent you a picture of a forest that is from an idea for a children's book, so that I'll hopefully start working on that a little bit more soon as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see more of that work. Very nice. So here's my next question to you. What are your recommendations for those people who want to start making art?
I think the best thing if you want to start making art is to just start making art. I mean, draw anything. Like you can draw your shoe, or even if you're interested in paint, just like throw some color on a piece of paper, on a canvas, and just start creating. I think that process of making motivates you to make more and kind of grows more inspiration. And then you'll start developing your own style and your own works from there. But just start doing anything, really. Just start making marks on paper, or if you want to play guitar, just start playing guitar. Something will come up for you. The more you do it, the more you want to do it.
Don't complicate it, just start. And
Yeah.
Don't think that you have to have a teacher or go to school or anything. Just start it and then you go from there.
Yeah, exactly. All those famous artists started somewhere. Picasso wasn't Picasso when he started, right?
Absolutely. So now that you mentioned Picasso, who were you most inspired by for your art and yourself? Who did encourage you the most for your art?
So in terms of encouragement, I think, and like my mom always encouraged me and, you know, gave me that praise for art. And also, you know, like now I think my children are like big motivators for me just because, well, they're so fun. And I've always been interested in children's books, and like children's art. And I think they just kind of light that spark a little bit more. And in terms of like other artists, I always really was drawn to like Salvador Dali. Now I'm really into Oliver Jeffers just because I really like his children's books. Yeah.
Who was the second guy? Oliver?
Oliver Jeffers. He's an Irish children's book writer, author, illustrator.
I haven't seen his works. I'm going to check him out and see. Cool. If you could change anything about yourself, what would you change?
I was thinking about all these questions beforehand, and I came to this one. I'm definitely always like stuck on this. I can sometimes be a bit negative about myself, but I think the thing that I would change about myself the most is that I can come off a little bit cold to people and not maybe as approachable as I'd like to be. And maybe I'd like to work on that a little bit. Just try to be a bit warmer.
Okay. Maybe that belongs to your being introverted too.
Yeah, maybe it's definitely a bit bit of shyness there as well. But.
So here's the next question: if you could have a superpower, what would that be?
Oh, I would definitely love to read people's minds. I think it would be just interesting to like know what people are thinking, even just in the line at the grocery store, and then you can kind of, if someone's having a really hard time, like, oh, I'll give you some space or say something nice to you, or
yeah, that would be interesting. On our page here, we have some content that is in Persian, and that's mainly because the Persian community has been very supportive of our activities so far. So we are holding these Instagram lives with Persian artists as well, and as well as anyone who speaks any sort of Farsi or Persian language. And one of the questions that we asked them instead of the superpower one is that if you could change anything about yourself, then they say what they change about themselves. And then the next question is that, well, if you could change something for others, what would you change for people? And, and I think when we are asking about the superpower, maybe we should ask this from people too, that like, now that you have a superpower, what would you change for other people?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe people can be less cold as well. Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe just more empathy from others and understanding. I think.
Yeah, empathy is very important. Awesome. Stephanie, I have just one more question left, and we have plenty of time left. I guess I'm going to ask my question, and and if you have any other message that you want to send out to our viewers out there, feel free to do that. So my last question is that how our viewers can view your artworks or contact you.
So both right now are through my Instagram, which is Stephanie Damus Illustration. If you DM me from there, I do hope to start an Etsy soon by the end of the year. But things are slow over here, so we'll see when that actually comes up. And but if you follow me on Instagram, I'll make sure to let everyone know when that Etsy store is open. And if you wanted to purchase anything beforehand, you can do it through Instagram or just chat. Any questions anyone has can DM me. Yeah, Stephanie Damus Illustration.
Are you thinking of having a website too soon, or no? You're just going to do the Etsy shop?
I'm just going to start with the Etsy shop and see how it goes. Maybe in the future I'll have a website, but I think everything's so well streamlined on Etsy already. And that whole, that platform is already something that would work for me, I think. So we'll start there and then move on to a website if in the future, if I need to or want to.
Awesome. Well, I guess that were my questions. I asked them all. If there's a message that you want to say to our viewers out there, please feel free to go ahead.
Oh, well, I just want to thank everyone for your interest and for watching, and thank you for letting me participate. This is really, I feel very special.
It was a pleasure. I really enjoyed this conversation as well. I hope that we could, collaborate sometimes in the future. And if you know any other artist friends, please do introduce them to us. We would love to share their stories. And we have another Instagram live coming up tomorrow. It's going to be in Persian though, but we're just continuing this project, and we'll see how far we can go with it. And also, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. So when we post your video on our YouTube, you will be notified. Then you can share that link, with your family, friends on your social media pages and so on.
Sure. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you. I'll do that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For joining us. You have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.